After reading this book, I legitimately made over an hour-long voice memo of me just ranting about this book. Like, it was that bad. It was that deep. Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming my worst books of 2020. So I compiled a list of 10 books I read in 2020 that I just didn't like. I read a lot of books in 2020. Most of them I really enjoyed, but there are a select few that I just really didn't like. So we're here today to talk about those few. There is going to be no disclaimer for this video. You clicked on this video knowing what it was going to be, so you can't get mad at me if your feelings got hurt. Okay? Okay. Capiche? Capiche. Let's get started with this video. So again, I have 10 books on this list. Looking at this list now, I realized that there are a lot of thrillers. It's actually mostly thrillers, which makes sense because thrillers are hit or miss for me, and I guess I had some misses this year. So let's just start out with a bang, a very popular book, and this is a very unpopular opinion, but I really didn't like The Guest List by Lucy Foley. Yeah, I know. This book was just boring? Like, boring. And you can't fix boring. I feel like with other books that I hate with a passion, at least it gives me some type of entertainment while reading, because I kind of hate read it. For this book, it was so boring that I was thinking of DNFing it, but I just really wanted to know the plot twist, and the plot twist wasn't even good, so I literally just played myself. At least I can make a video about it now. This book is about a group of characters going to this wedding on like a remote island, and then someone gets killed. I don't know how to make it more entertaining than that. It sounds boring when I'm describing it to you, and it is boring in the book. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. So this book just had so many unlikable characters, and I get it, a lot of thriller authors love to use unlikable characters, and that's fine if you do it well. And in my opinion, Lucy Foley did not do it well at all. You had unlikable characters, you had no one to root for. I did not care who died because, again, the person was not likable and I did not like that person. So I don't know if Lucy Foley wanted me to care. I didn't. Me and this book actually started on a bad note, on the wrong foot, because I, for some reason, thought this drew inspiration from Agatha Christie's And Then There Are None, meaning that one by one, all of these characters were gonna die. And then I was like, okay, that makes sense, because if Lucy Foley's doing unlikable characters, all these characters are gonna die anyways. It makes sense. Then like 50% of the way through this book, I was like, wait, no one is dying. And then I checked the Goodreads description, I realized that no one's gonna die except one person. I really thought one by one, these people were gonna die. So I was like, getting excited almost. And when I realized that it wasn't, I was so disappointed. And again, that's not the book's fault, it's my fault for the misconception with this book, but I have no idea where I got that misinformation that this was going to be like an And Then There Are None sort of book. I have no idea, but it made me even dislike the book even more. Holy crap, the plot twist was like good, but was it like history in the making, groundbreaking? Did it make up for all the boring build up to it? No, it did not. So I just feel like this book was such a waste and just such a bore. I have no idea why so many people love this book. This has been on so many thriller book recommendations, best thrillers of the year list. And usually when I read a thriller, I'm like, and I don't like it, I'm like, okay, I can see why people like this book. I have no idea why people like this book. I'm sorry. I really do not have any clue why this is one of your favorite thrillers. No idea. This book really disappoints me. I don't go into popular books wanting to hate them, wanting to have an unpopular opinion. I wanted to love this book and I really fully expected to, but Lucy Foley's writing is boring. It doesn't make her unlikable characters better. It doesn't make her plot better. It doesn't make her story entertaining. If you don't have a good plot or good characters and your writing is falling flat, what can I tell you? What else is there to say? Nothing? Okay, moving on. Next book actually brought on one of my hit tweets. So I'm happy about that. That is The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth. My main issue with this book, and it really pisses me off because if this wasn't in the book, I probably would have rated this book maybe a 4 stars, maybe a 3 stars. Build up to this plot twist was not bad in the slightest. I really was anticipating what the big reveal was going to be, and then the big reveal was trash. This book used a woman's mental health as the plot twist. We were supposed to believe that due to this character having many miscarriages, due to this woman not being able to have a baby, she had a descent into madness, and she's supposed to be crazy, and that's why she committed this crime. This is one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to thrillers. I don't know why thriller authors love to use this as like a gotcha moment, like this woman's crazy, she did this, that's the only reason. I don't know if they think this is like groundbreaking or something to applaud. I immediately rated this book a 1 star. I was so disappointed because, again, this thriller was not bad. It was kind of shaky at some points. It wouldn't have been a 5 stars or a high 4 stars, but I would have liked it or enjoyed it if they did something else for the plot twist. Like, I'm begging you, thriller authors, stop using this as a plot twist. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's insane. A woman's mental health shouldn't be the big reveal moment that you think was gonna make your thriller the best thriller of the year. Like, I don't like it. I don't know why so many people love it. Again, another really popular thriller on Goodreads, at least. I don't really see a lot of people talking about this on BookTube, but it has so many ratings on Goodreads, so I assume it's popular. And when I wrote my tweet, I'm gonna put it here somewhere, a lot of people were like, oh, I know a book you're reading, and they're guessing different books. I'm just like, it's so sad that we're able to guess 100 different books for this one plot twist. The next book on this list is The Third Twin by CJ Omololu. I have a lot to say about this book. After reading this book, I legitimately made over an hour-long voice memo of me just ranting about this book. Like, it was that bad. It was that deep. For a book to make me this angry and this annoyed, for me to be able to rant about it hour-long straight, no breaks. My voice was parched after making that voice memo. You know this book is bad. Usually I get angry, but I never had made a 60-minute voice memo about a book. But here we are now. Oh my gosh, this book was so bad. So bad. This is a YA thriller where the main character and her twin kind of dress up as like an imaginary triplet so they can go out and meet guys and stuff, whatever. This book... Let me list out the problems with this book. Okay, first of all, I really don't think the author got the memo that this was supposed to be a young adult thriller, not a contemporary. I really felt that this author wanted it to be a contemporary so badly, but I guess her publisher or agent, whatever, was grabbing her by the throat and telling her she needed to make a young adult thriller. It had so many elements that you'll see in a young adult contemporary that the author felt the need to pull into this thriller, even though it brought nothing to the book. I get it, some thrillers can do a romance well. I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Black, and that was a young adult thriller with a romance, and I actually liked the romance aspect, but it didn't take over the whole book, so I didn't care. This book, I feel like the end goal was to get this romance to work, not to solve the mystery in the book. And another problem I had with this book was the characters were just so dumb, and they made so many dumb decisions. I'm usually very okay with characters making dumb decisions because I am not the brightest. I'm a dummy too. I make some dumb decisions. So I don't really go hard on characters for doing this. But it's when you make the same dumb decision over and over and over again, expecting different results. Literally, there are scenes in the book, multiple, where the characters would lie to the police about something so stupid and minuscule that, like, I don't even know why they lied to the police in the first place. The situation would get worse because of their lies. But yet again, they did it multiple times throughout the book. The plot twist was dumb and overdone. I don't want to tell you guys, but don't read this book. It's so dumb. You can guess by the title what the plot twist is, so is it even a plot twist? It felt like Pretty Little Liars, but even worse and more contrived, which is saying something, because if you watch Pretty Little Liars, a TV show, you know how the plot twist kind of made no sense. So to compare this book to Pretty Little Liars, but worse, it didn't have any of the good aspects of Pretty Little Liars, like the drama or the messiness. It didn't have that. It just had the terrible stuff that we all wish we forgot about Pretty Little Liars. There's a love triangle in this book. This book really gets you like annoyed. Like, it really annoys me. I just really felt that this author did not want to write this book. She didn't know what direction her book was heading, so she just threw in a stupid plot twist and called it a day. That's what I felt. This book was not good in the slightest. I was so disappointed. This book made me question if I actually liked the genre of young adult thrillers. Fortunately, I read a lot of young adult thrillers later in the year that I loved, so that went out the window. But still, like, for a book to question if you like the genre or not, that says a lot. Next on this list, we have They Wish They Were Us by Jessica Goodman. Another young adult thriller that just was not for me at all. You know what? I saw the thriller was getting hyped on book Twitter and in the real world because it got picked up for a TV show. It has one of the Euphoria actors in it, Sydney Sweeney, I believe. So I was like, you know what? It's getting picked up for a TV show. It had like that rich kid, gossip girl, but like elite with the mystery vibe in it. So I was like, okay, I like those TV shows. I like watching rich teens live their life and whatever. I expected to love this book. I did not think this book would be mediocre. I actually expected to really enjoy this book. I love rich kids and elite high school vibe. I eat it up. So I thought I was gonna eat this book up. No, I did not eat this book up. This book was horrible. I have no idea what the showmakers saw in this book. I think they just saw rich kids in an elite high school and they just checked it out and signed it up for a TV show. Because this book was nothing different or creative. This book has been done before, I feel like. And better, probably. This book was atrocious. Again, another book with so many unlikable characters, and I really think the author thought that the main character is supposed to be likable, but she was not. The book is basically about, again, like gossip girl with elite vibes. It's a murder mystery with rich kids. There's like this friend group who's a part of this like secret society, and in this secret society, these kids get like all the answers to the tests, recommendation letters on how to cheat their way into the top universities and Ivy Leagues. Basically a gateway to success in the real world by cheating their way through it. Then a murder happens and they want to know who did it. The book was so forgettable that I really don't even remember who died. I could not for the life of me remember who died. Oh, never mind, I remember who died now. I could not remember for a second. I was like, yikes. Immediately after I read it, I was like, what did I read again? First of all, the plot twist was so predictable. And that's coming from the girl who, when I tell you, I for the life of me can never predict a plot twist. Never. I don't care if you give me the clues right in front of me. I can never predict the plot twist in books. The author somehow always surprises me. So for me to be able to predict a plot twist, you know it's bad. Like the killer had it tattooed on their forehead that I killed this person. You can't make it up. I just feel like authors, if you're gonna have unlikable characters, have a good plot. Have a good plot twist. Like, you can't do both. It's not adding up. It's not adding up. Like, the characters were just so privileged, so annoying. They're like, oh yeah, this year is gonna be different because when they were freshmen, they went through a hazing process. They're like, since you're seniors now, they weren't gonna haze. They hazed, they did all the stuff, they did nonsense. I was just confused and we're like, am I supposed to root for these people? You want them to be the villains in the story? Fine, whatever. But I think the author wanted us to be rooting for their growth or whatever. No, I was not. One day in the book, we're supposed to believe that they instantly changed and they're like, you know what? This is wrong. We're supposed to believe that? It did not happen over time. 1 second, they're like, oh yeah, this is wrong. Let's stop doing that. For the life of me, like sometimes you just have to laugh. Just laugh it off and move on. The only thing that was fueling me to finish this book that I was literally hate reading it and having a grand old time. I was laughing at parts where it's supposed to be serious. I can't explain to you how bad this book is. And it's the fact that this is a TV show too. But like, it's the fact that I really thought I was gonna love this book too. That gets me. And it was this bad. Like, if I had to pick the most poorly written book that is actually popular on this list, I would have to pick this book because it got bad sometimes. Or the whole time, actually. Next, I have Girl Serpentthorne by Melissa Bushidos. Another book that I really thought I was going to love. I got this book on NetGalley, so excited to read it. I started reading it, I was like, this book is boring. This book is boring. So I was like, okay, maybe it gets good in the middle. I'm gonna love it. I waited and waited and waited. This book never got good. This book was terrible. This book was boring that I had to force myself to read it. I was like on Twitter saying like, oh, 100 pages left, 50 pages left. Like I was running a marathon or something. Only reason I finished it, not because I cared about the ending, not because I cared about these characters. I finished it because I wanted my NetGalley score to go up. That's the only reason I finished it. There's no other reason I finished this book. The only thing that was driving me was that I got this far into this book. I want my NetGalley score to go up. Let's do this. That's it. This book is marketed as sapphic. 80% of this book was a male and female love story / arc. Like 90% of the way through, the author just threw in this romance that was supposed to be hate to love. And it was not serving hate to love realness. It was just serving very rushed realness. That's what it was serving. I just, for the life of me, do not understand the point of making this book. 80% of the way through, you don't even know who the sapphic love interest is. This book just felt uncreative. It felt like every young adult fantasy, but done worse, not better. I hated this book so much. I know this is such an unpopular opinion. So many people love this book. Like, I am definitely in the minority with this one. This book had nothing going for it. Nothing. Like, it had a very generic villain, a very generic love interest. The two people who fell in love at the end had almost nothing driving them together. The writing was boring and nothing stellar or interesting about it. Like, I had nothing good to say about this book, honestly. That sounds horrible, but like nothing in this book I was like, okay, you know what? At least it had this. I can't say anything about this book like that. It was so bad. It was so bad. Moving on. Next two are NetGalley arcs that I requested in the middle of the night. Looking back on it, I have no idea why I requested these books, but I did. And I read it, and I hated them. The first one is An Oxford Revenge by Maxine Berry. This book was terrible, but also it was like an erotic thriller, so I don't know why I expected greatness. I think when I requested this book, I had no idea it was an erotic thriller. So throughout this book, we're supposed to believe that the main character falls in love with the person she believes drove her brother to suicide. A moment of silence for that one. It turns out he didn't do it, but still concerning, very concerning. And there's another plot line in this book that I thought was supposed to tie in with the first plot, but it didn't. It was like a whole different plot, and it was like, this book is under 200 pages, so I really thought it would have been stronger if it only focused on the first plot. Because the first plot was at least interesting, but like the second plot was boring and it was just dumb. It made no sense being in this book. I thought this book was supposed to be silly, so I wasn't like that mad at it. It still managed to be a little bit entertaining, but it still was bad. Like a bad movie that you liked is still a bad movie. Does that make sense? I felt like it was kind of a parody, but I don't know if I was reading it as a parody and it was supposed to be serious, but it really read to me like a parody, and I don't think that was the point of this book, so yikes. The next one on this list is Take Me With You by Tara Altebrando. Again, a NetGalley arc that was not it. Do not request NetGalley arcs in the middle of the night. You are not gonna like your decisions. I learned my lesson last year. Maybe this is what drove me to not use NetGalley anymore, because me and NetGalley are kind of called it quits now. Yeah, this book is about these kids get locked in the choir room or band room after school, and there's this device in the middle of the room that says, take me with you or else. I thought it was gonna be fast-paced, fun, maybe not the best thriller, but I thought it was at least gonna be fun. No, this book is boring. I feel like boring is one of the worst things your book can be. When it's boring, you can't have fun. You're just bored. That's a book that I think wanted to be a contemporary really badly, but wrote a thriller instead for some reason. I don't know how this book can be boring when the initial plot sounds so interesting. No. Somehow the author messed that up. I don't know. She was so focused on building a romance between two characters that she forgot all about the thriller plot line. I don't know how you could make a killer device that's from like an episode of like Black Mirror boring, but whatever. So sad. So sad. Next we have Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. You have another book that I think didn't get the memo that it was a thriller. I have no idea why there's so many books like this on my list, but this is another one. The book is basically about a girl who goes through a traumatic experience in her younger years, and now she's older and she has built a better life for herself, and now she kind of wants to get revenge. At least that's what I thought this book was going to be. This book is a contemporary. There is no thriller, there is no mystery, there is no plot twist, no idea why this author lied to us, because she lied to us. Because at least in the other books that were pretending to be thrillers, at least they had a plot twist or a mystery behind the book. This book had no mystery in it. So how is this a thriller? Tell me how this is a thriller or a mystery. Because I want to know. I want to know if I'm missing something, because this is not a thriller or mystery at all. You market a book as a mystery, but there is no mystery to be found. How do you expect me to like this book? Next, we have a young adult contemporary that's actually a young adult contemporary. That is Accidental by Alex Richards. This book was just not good. I don't remember what the plot was. No clue. No clue at all. The main character was annoying. I found her very insufferable at times. She felt like I'm not like other girls' character. And in the year of 2020 in which I read this, and now in 2021, as a society, as a book community, we have moved past those type of main characters. Like, we are tired. We are tired. Stop it. Get some help. I don't even know what to say, just I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. The last and final worst book on this list is My Sister the Serial Killer by Anya Khan Braithwaite. I know. A lot of people really love this book, and I wanted to love this book too. The reoccurring problem in this video is that thrillers are not thrillers. Thrillers actually want to be contemporaries, and it's marketed still as a thriller. I don't know how you make a serial killer boring. I signed up for a thriller, and I got, yet again, another contemporary. This book was so short too, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. The author threw in that one scene in the beginning of the novel. Her and her sister are cleaning up a body, like blood, they're wrapping up the body, they're hiding the body, and I was like, ooh, okay, we're starting off on a high note, we're starting off with some Dexter stuff, you know? We are never given another scene where her sister's in action killing. No. This book could have been so well done. The book is one of my most disappointing reads of this year because the plot line of this book and the concept of this book is so good. Like, what if your sister was a serial killer? This book could have been amazing. It could have been one of my best books of 2020 if it wasn't a contemporary marketed as a thriller. Okay, publishers or marketing companies or whatever who writes a synopsis of books, be honest. You are doing your authors no favors by lying. And somehow, someway, this book won a Goodreads award for the best mystery and thriller of whatever year it came out. Let's just end off with that. It won the best mystery and thriller award. Yes, it did. And with that, let's just close out the video at this point. So yeah, that was the worst books I read in 2020. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe for more of these videos. And bye.